Today we're going to be looking at a lesson plan provided by Common Sense Media. This particular lesson plan, as you can see over here in the right hand corner, is appropriate for grades K through 2 and is aligned with our kindergarten, first grade, and second grade standards. This lesson is going to be on cyberbullying, and it's called Screen Out the Mean. One of the things that's important about these lesson plans is that they're all aligned with our 9 themes of digital citizenship. This particular lesson is going to be aligned with the theme of digital etiquette, which is all about teaching children how to use technology in a responsible and respectful way, and also for them to recognize inappropriate use of technology. And cyberbullying is going to be considered an inappropriate use of technology. Here we can see that we have essential questions already laid out for us, a lesson overview, and our learning objectives. These learning objectives are going to be really important, which is why they're kind of highlighted in this green box. These are the things that we want our students to understand as a result of our lesson. So we want students to be able to analyze online behaviors that could be considered cyberbullying. We want them to be able to explain how to deal with a cyberbullying situation. And we want them to recognize the importance of engaging a trusted adult when they experience cyberbullying. So these things are all very well aligned, both with our standards, Common Core standards, and with our theme of digital etiquette. We've got listed for us some materials, some family resources, which is great because it's aligning the school and the family in that theme of digital citizenship, giving the family resources to kind of follow up and maintain what they're learning in school about digital citizenship. We also have our key vocabulary words, which will be important for us in our lesson. So we'll take a quick look at our introduction. This is going to be a quick kind of 5-minute warm-up. And as you look through this lesson plan, you'll see that this is kind of very discussion heavy. It's a very speaking heavy lesson, but I think that it's going to be appropriate in K through 2 because morning meetings and circle time are so very important. I really imagine this happening in kind of a circle time setting, a talk circle kind of deal. So our introduction is going to ask students to share what they know about bullying, what kind of things count as bullying, and how does it make other people feel. And this is going to be something that we'll really emphasize throughout this lesson, is that cyberbullying occurs when it makes someone feel sad, angry, or hurt. It's less about a specific action or behavior that someone is doing over the internet and more about being able to identify cyberbullying by how it's making you feel. So as a victim, how is it making you feel to be cyberbullied? Or if you are a cyberbully, what are your actions doing to make someone feel? It's emphasizing that idea of empathy, which is so important for social emotional learning, which we see a lot of in those primary grades. So here they're going to continue to have this discussion and really start to feel this out. What is bullying and what does that feel like? What are the repercussions of bullying and how does it make other people feel? And in addition, what can we do when you feel bullied or when you see someone else being bullied? And then at the end, we're going to kind of tie that into, well, this bullying, even though we've experienced it in the real world, it can happen in the online world too. It can happen on the internet. So we'll move on to our first teach point, which is what is cyberbullying? So here, again, it's going to be pretty discussion-based, but you're going to be defining the term online so that they understand that we're talking about bullying on the internet and not just in person. And we're going to, again, have a little bit of a discussion about who goes online, what do we do online, how can cyberbullying kind of come up if we're just sending emails and playing games and that type of thing. We'll move down. This is going to kind of continue. What are some examples of cyberbullying? How are people cyberbullying on the internet so that kids can identify that? And then we'll move on to our second teach point, which is what to do. So we've talked about what bullying is so far. We've now talked about what cyberbullying is, and now we're looking at what are we going to do when we see cyberbullying happening, if we're being cyberbullied or we see someone else being cyberbullied. Again, these are all aligning with our theme of digital etiquette. So here they have a Stop Cyberbullying student handout to kind of go along with their discussion. They're going to have a little scenario that they'll look at, and they'll identify um, what kind of cyberbullying was occurring here, who did the cyberbullying, and how did that make the victim feel. Again, they're going to be looking at the 4 rules for dealing with cyberbullying. Those things will be introduced to them here. And they'll continue to discuss how do they know if someone cyberbullies, and what can you do in those cases. You can tell a parent, you can get off of the computer and take a break from it. And again, always let an adult know. So here down at the bottom, they're going to revisit that scenario that they looked at before looking at the Stop Cyberbullying handout, and they're going to apply the STOP stop rules. So she should stop using the computer. She should tell an adult. She should not go back online until an adult says it's okay. If they're good friends, she might want to tell him how her actions made her feel. Or she could play with other kids so they don't take part in cyberbullying. Finally, we're going to close up, and this is going to kind of bring everything together. Assessing, have they met these objectives? Do they know what cyberbullying is and how it makes people feel? Did they understand that Stop Cyberbullying system? You know, what are those 4 things that you can do? And what is the most important thing you can do if cyberbullying happens to you? Down here we have all of our resources. This is the screen out the mean scenario that they used in the second teach point. Here's their Stop little 4 rules for what to do. And again, they have some scenarios to work through and some little assessment questions to assess if the students are understanding the objectives. So I'm going to go all the way back up to the top and just look here at our introduction, because this is going to be where we attempt to hook the students. And even though it's heavily discussion based and it doesn't seem particularly flashy, I think the emotional connection that you're offering with this warm-up is really what's going to kind of engage the students and get them hooked on this lesson. Because they're talking primarily about how bullying makes other people feel and how hurtful that can be. And so I think if you have kids that have experienced that and will share those feelings, that being able to connect to that emotionally and have potentially some real world experiences with bullying is really going to help to guide them into this lesson and to really hook them. So there we go. Our introduction and warm up is going to be our hook. Thanks for watching.